Why the sites like the Egyptian pyramids or the Roman Colosseum get all the glory, while the Europe has the collection of such a big architecture, hidden in the shadows of history and are no less spectacular. These are places built by ancient hands, driven by beliefs, survival, power, or even cosmic alignment. In a world where modern cities rise in glass and steel, we often forget what came before: structures carved into cliffs, temples aligned with the stars, cities that defy the tools and logic of their time. These aren't just buildings. They're messages, left in stone, waiting to be decoded. These marvels weren't built with cranes or concrete. These were built without modern tools and without the internet to guide their creators. Today on the Arcane Globe, we take you on a journey through Europe's most mind-bending, mysterious, and awe-inspiring ancient architecture. So stay with us until the end, because the final one might change the way you think about the ancient world. But first, let's begin far from Europe, at the edge of the Andes Mountains. Pumapunku, Bolivia, a stone complex so precisely carved it's puzzled modern architects and archaeologists alike. Located over 12,000 feet above sea level, Pumapunku is part of the larger Tiwanaku site, once home to a thriving pre-Incan civilization. What makes Pumapunku stand out isn't just its age, it's the way its massive stones were cut. Some weigh over 100 tons, yet fit together like puzzle pieces with interlocking joints, straight cuts, and drilled holes, without the use of metal tools or mortar. Even today, engineers debate how these stones were moved and aligned. Now let's cross the Atlantic and step into Europe, where history hides behind ruins and remote mountain passes. Zerbst Castle ruins, Germany, once the royal residence of Catherine the Great's family. This Baroque palace was a symbol of Prussian power until it was heavily bombed during World War II. What remains today is a haunting frame of a forgotten past. Arches, corridors, and staircases leading nowhere, standing as a reminder of what war erases but history refuses to forget. Unlike Germany's well-preserved castles, Zerbst's decay invites imagination. You can almost hear the echoes of boots and ballrooms. Moving southeast, carved straight into the cliffs of Georgia, lies the breathtaking Vardzia cave monastery. Built during the reign of Queen Tamar in the 12th century, this was more than a religious retreat. It was a fortress, a city, and a sanctuary. It contains over 600 rooms, secret tunnels, chapels, and even a functioning irrigation system. Its dramatic location, overlooking a rugged valley, makes it seem like a place straight out of a fantasy epic. But this was very real, and at its peak, it housed thousands of monks and citizens. The decline began after a devastating earthquake and invasions, but its mystery remains intact. Now picture a ship, not one that sails the sea, but one made entirely of stone. Ales Stones, Sweden, is a megalithic monument shaped like a Viking ship, made of 59 boulders standing upright on a cliff overlooking the Baltic Sea. Archaeologists estimate it dates back to around 600 CE, and its true purpose is still debated. Some believe it served as an astronomical calendar, others think it was a burial site. But standing there, wind in your face, stone beneath your feet, it's impossible not to feel the weight of ancient ritual and mystery. Heading west, we enter Carnac, France, where over 3,000 standing stones stretch in neat rows across the countryside. It's the largest concentration of megalithic structures in the world, predating even Stonehenge. The precision of the layout has led some to suggest it was used as a massive observatory or a ritual site. What's astonishing is that most people have never heard of it, despite its massive scale. The stones aren't just randomly placed, they're aligned with mathematical and celestial precision. Imagine the culture and knowledge it took to organize such a feat without modern instruments. Now down to Spain, to a coastal hilltop near the Portuguese border. Castro de Santa Trega is a pre-Roman Celtic hill fort, a walled village of stone roundhouses, narrow lanes, and sweeping views of the Atlantic. The people who lived here over 2,000 years ago were master builders of defensive and communal spaces. What remains today are foundations and walls so well preserved that you can trace the streets and imagine the daily lives of the Galician tribes who called this place home. The next stop is on the island nation of Malta. Gantija temples, meaning giant's tower, isn't just a name. These megalithic temples are older than the pyramids of Giza, Some of the stones used weigh over 50 tons. Built between 3600 and 3200 BCE, the temples were constructed without the wheel, using only stone tools and brute strength. The layout is sophisticated, with altars, curved walls, and evidence of ceremonial activity. Vardzia is not a ruin. It's a statement, one that says ancient humanity was far more advanced than we give it credit for. From southern Europe to the cold winds of the Orkney Islands, Skara Brae, Scotland, lies buried in sand and time. This Neolithic village was uncovered after a storm in the 19th century, revealing stone houses complete with beds, shelves, and indoor plumbing. Dating back to around 3100 BCE, it shows how, even in harsh climates, people built with intelligence and precision. What's chilling is how well it's preserved. You can still walk the narrow passages that connected the homes, peer into rooms that once echoed with laughter and language now lost. Then we descend into darkness. Creswell Crags, England. These limestone gorges on the border of Nottinghamshire and Derbyshire are home to some of the oldest known cave art in Britain, including symbols and animal carvings for 12,000 years. But that's not all. In 2019, researchers discovered hundreds of ritual protection marks carved into the walls to ward off evil. These caves are a timeline, stretching from the Ice Age to medieval superstition, layered in meaning and mystery. Let's now travel to the Italian Apennines, where Rocca Colosseum waits above the clouds. It's one of the highest fortresses in Europe, perched at 1,460 meters above sea level. Originally built for military observation, it later became a fortress of folklore and film. The stone structure, surrounded by mountain silence, looks like something from a lost kingdom. It was never truly finished, but its incomplete grandeur speaks louder than words. From mountaintops to island stones, we arrive at Nuraghe su Nuraghe, Sardinia. This is not just a ruin. It's a type of architecture found nowhere else on Earth. Built during the Bronze Age by the mysterious Nuraghic civilization, these stone towers are circular, complex, and masterfully constructed without mortar. They were used for defense, ceremony, and possibly even astronomical purposes. There are over 7,000 of these towers scattered across Sardinia, but Su Nuraghe is the most iconic, offering a labyrinth of chambers and passageways that challenge even modern interpretations. Heading southeast to the Balkans, Stari Bar, Montenegro, rises like a ghost from an olive grove. This fortified town, now in ruins, was once a bustling center of trade and religion. Earthquakes, wars, and abandonment turned it into a stone skeleton, but walking through its arched gateways and crumbling towers feels like stepping through time. What's unique about Stari Bar is how nature has begun reclaiming it. Trees grow through houses, and birds nest in ancient chapels. Across the Mediterranean on Minorca, Naveta des Tudons is one of Europe's oldest roofed buildings. Shaped like an upside-down boat, this Bronze Age tomb was used for collective burial. Its name comes from Naveta, meaning little ship. Unlike the grand cathedrals of Europe, this structure is humble but powerful, a symbol of community and respect for the dead, built with perfect stone layering and an understanding of weight and space. From Spain to the sacred oak groves of Dodona, Greece, once home to the oldest known oracle in the Greek world. Before Delphi, pilgrims would come here to consult Zeus himself. Priests interpreted the rustling of oak leaves as divine messages. The site includes a theater, temples, and inscriptions that tell us how seriously ancient people took this place. And finally, we end our journey at Sarmizegetusa, Romania, the ancient capital of the Dacian kingdom. Hidden in the Carpathian Mountains, this fortress was a blend of spiritual center and military stronghold. Its circular stone sanctuaries align with celestial movements, much like Stonehenge, but with a distinctive Eastern European architectural style. The Romans eventually conquered it, but the foundations remain silent, sacred, and defiant. These sites are more than stone. They are memory, they are mystery, and they are proof that brilliance doesn't always make it into the spotlight. Sometimes it survives quietly, waiting for curious minds like yours to rediscover them. So which one fascinated you the most? Let us know in the comments.